Hey Steve, this is Mark Hill and Tanner and Kevin at Fourth Coast. This is your Henderson engine for your second hen. This is the one that all the stuff was busted out of here, the first main. All this has been welded back in, and all the geometry here behind the gear relationships has been reestablished, and the oil journal's been re-drilled. If you take a look, you can see the oil just oozing out of it. Kevin, get down here. People don't realize when you're welding these things just how much the oil moves around. Anyways, having said all of that, all new billet main bearing caps, time inserted ARP studs, and these are your original rods from the first Henderson engine you had us do. And we had my buddy Evan wire EDM us some shims to get all these rods back on center. Big, thick, heavy-duty brass shim. 6061 aluminum shims on the main bearing caps, but all billet caps, all centrifugally spun cast mains and rods in this. That's been ultrasonically tested. Killer Babbitt in this thing, and she's heavy duty. She's cannonball worthy, that's for sure. Kevin, come on down around the back. This had a pretty significant amount of damage. It was cracked in this area right here where they're this area right here where they're notorious for cracking. We took a fly cut on this, and the oil pan that we sourced for this project, we welded in all the threads and we rethreaded this. New billet main bearing caps for the transmission triple gear, and your new old stock gears floating nicely. You may want to choose to put a little bit more end float in it. That's your call. We ground both of the clutch drive hubs that you sent us. One of them we couldn't make run true. This one's running dead true. The mains are sitting in at 2,000ths of an inch, and this is sitting in at 2,500ths of an inch, the clutch drive hub, and of course there's a 660 bearing bronze bushing in there that's riding on the tail. Your NOS shafts, you didn't have a new output shaft bushing. We've got one of those coming for you, and all of this has been blueprinted, turned 90 degrees, and fellow stub tooth gear pattern. The backlashes are perfect on this, as they are exactly the distance that they're supposed to be apart. You take a look at all your nice stuff shifting, pretty sweet. Whole transmission's acting nice, and of course this will float a little bit better when we get a new bushing in there. We just stuck this one in here for effect to show you what you got. So just to recap, block, saved, machined, welded, all that good stuff. Cut, hours of fixing this thing in the oven. All new caps, time certs, rods, all new bearings in them. The rod bolts you made, and brand new shims, right ready to go. If you come over here, I pulled this out. This is out of Lincoln's engine. This is the quality of the surface finish and the Babbitt work that you have inside your engine. So I just wanted to show you that. Lincoln's right behind you, running close and tight. This is what the billet main bearing caps look like in the surface finish here. The thermal transfer that we're getting and the crush and the spread on the bearings are second to none. New standards, Lincoln's crankshaft, all that happy stuff. His rods, all good to go. You can see the surface finish that we're obtaining. This is out here just to let you see what's going on. I wanted you to be able to see the oil jets. If you take a look down in there, Kevin will show you the oil cannons. That's proprietary. We are the only folks that do that. There's a check ball that blows off at 25 psi, so we'll probably want to put a KJ pump on that deluxe like we did your other one, just for make sure everything is good. What we've got going here is just this is going to be our oil jet or our piston jet, and it's going to squirt a jettison oil all over the crown of the piston at a 22-degree angle. Hits it just nice. Come on over here, Kevy. Lots of machining going on here. This is the stuff that you sent us that we didn't use. We're sending that back. You inadvertently had sent us 2K release forks. We came up with a good one for you to go with your stuff. Henderson had an improvement where they increased the diameter of this shaft, so this actually is larger inside diameter. Also disregarded these old spur tooth gears, and I found you a nice set out of our stock of helicals in here. It'll just run a little bit quieter. Selected a nice camshaft for you, reground, ready to go. And this is all your stuff right here. And this is one of the things I wanted to show you. This is how we use our line boring. Kevin, make sure you get this. Of course, this is being driven and pushed, and the cutters go in here. But after this is all welded in and turned 90 degrees, this is our line boring system as to how we actually rethread this. Instead of we bore the we bore the threaded bearing area or bushing area to the tap drill size, and then we custom made this tap here, and we actually rethread this, and we use the boring bar as our guide. And of course that's on about 3/10 clearance in there, and so nothing can move or turn or anything like that. And we rethread that, and that's how we keep our transmission in perfect coaxiality from bushing to bushing, and we free up a bunch of power out of these old engines. Just had this out here just to show you. The pans are virtually unweldable on the floor of these engines because they become so saturated with oil. We've come up with this repair piece for our customers. A friend of mine's a hotshot CNC programmer, and we program this piece up. We even have the little divot for the oil in there, and 9 times out of 10 we have to weld those in. I thought we might have to do that on your pan, but we did not have to. We got a nice original floor in there. So that's how that all went, and we're going to get it backed out to you to Rejo. Gave you a couple shims for setting your pinion depth, all that good stuff. But one more Henderson on the road, and hopefully we'll see this Henderson on the next Cannonball in 2020. That's it.